You know, your kids probably aren't going to remember every single toy that you ever bought them or every vacation that you've ever taken them on. But they do remember all of the moments that you've had to spend with them. They'll remember all of the time that you gave up doing something else to spend time with them. All right. And that's important because they'll remember that more than that phone that you have in your hand. Now, I'm Bruce Pelton. This is Built Not Hacked, and we're going to talk about why it's important for you to spend time with your kids and get that phone out of your hand. All right. Kids don't measure love in hours. And as a matter of fact, I would say that probably most kids really can't, most people probably can't tangibly identify what love is. You know, I don't know that I can really tell you what love is, right? It's a feeling that you have, whether it's a chemical thing that you have in your head or something like that. Um, and it's like a chemical response to like, stimulation that you have. I mean, if you're going to like call it something technical, but I think for most people, even kids, like, it's very like an intangible thing, right? They don't know what love is. I couldn't like really describe what love is. But what kids do understand is attention, right? And they'll associate attention with love, right? The person that winds up spending more time with them or, um, gives them their attention, they can associate that attention with love, right? And they love spending time with me, and they're paying attention to me and stuff like that. Um, this is really kind of the reason why we got to watch other adults in our child's lives and stuff like that. And when they start giving your children more attention than you do, your kids are gonna latch on to that immediately, and they're gonna wind up seeing that somebody else is giving me more attention than my parents do and stuff like that. So let's hang out. Um, that's the reason why kids that are 2, 3, 4 years older than kids, they wind up latching on to them and stuff like that because they're giving them attention. They're giving them the kind of attention that they don't get from other people around their age and stuff like that. So this is what happens when you wind up having your phone in your hand. You're not giving your kids the attention that they deserve, that they need, that they crave from you. All right. And phones are such a huge digital distraction in our lives that it's been replaced with communicating with our kids to the point where I can probably think of 3 or 4 adults that I know personally that probably the only communication that they have with their children all day long is through some digital communication, text messages or something like that. Even calling people on the phone. Yes, you can hear their voice, but you can't see their reaction. You can't see the inflection, their raised eyebrows, right? Their furrowed brow if they're upset or something like that, or even a smile on their face because you said something that you agreed with. Those are all like emotional triggers and physical responses to things that we pick up on that you don't get because somebody's on their phone constantly and I'm just in my phone all the time. I think also what we need to do is stop teaching our kids bad habits. We teach them bad habits in the sense that um, every time that I'm on my phone and I think that I have to fill that silence with talking and even just picking up my phone and like checking Instagram or TikTok or something like that because I need to fill all of those silent moments with some activity, right? And I got to constantly be stimulated all of the time. And that teaches your children bad habits. It teaches them bad habits in the sense that all of those silent moments are opportunities for you to just be near each other, right? Feel my presence next to you. Feel and hear my breathing, right? And that means something to just sit on the couch with somebody and not have that silence be interrupted by me being on my phone and just, oh, hey, look at this, TikTok video. We don't have to have all of that silent moment filled in, all those gaps filled in with doing something electronic all the time. It's a huge distraction. It's never the way that it used to be when we were raising kids years ago. And it meant that we had to actually talk right? We had to talk. We had to find out what's going on with our kids. We had to talk to them. We can't just text them and say, hey, where are you at? You know, I want to know what you did today. Who were you with? What did you do? Right? Um, and kids will eventually stop interrupting your phone time every time they see you on it, when they know that you're going to wind up snapping at them every time, they ask you a question and you're on your phone and you're like, what? Well, what kind of a reaction is that? That just teaches your kids that, hey, when mom or dad's got their face buried in the phone, don't interrupt them, right? And, I know that sounds like an extreme thing, but I'm out in public. I see all the time. Parents are always doing that to their kids, right? And they've got so little attention span for their kids when their head is in the phone, that every single time the child tries to, vie for a little bit of attention and pull them away from the parents from the phone, it's a huge, why? Then they're snapping at their kids. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. And, parents, just, if you're doing this, please put your phone down, right? Just put it down, all right? And I'm not saying that you have to throw your phone away, but, understand that, your kids are competing with your time in the day, right? And they're competing against your phone's attention, right? And if, I could see, like, if you're a younger child and you're trying to compete for attention from your parents because of another child in your house, all right? Yeah, that's understandable. All right? All kids do that, all right? And they've been doing that for millennia. But why should a kid have to try to compete with you, with the attention of your phone, right? I mean, do you even realize that you're doing this to your children, right? And what child needs to wake up in the morning and feel like, I'm competing against mom's phone or dad's phone? What kid needs to think about that every single day when they wake up? No, nobody needs to do that. And the problem is that it's become so ingrained in our lives that kids probably don't even think about it. They just use that instance every single day to make another decision not to talk to mom or dad because I'm competing with the phone, right? And when that goes on over and over and over again, that just becomes the norm. So much so that it becomes the norm that it's not even a thought in my mind anymore as the child. I don't even need to think, well, if mom or dad's on the phone, turn around, go the other way. All right, so these are the distractions that kids have to deal with when parents are on the phone all the time. And it's so much of a distraction for kids that I feel like, we're living in an age where we've had so much like desensitization with these digital distractions with our kids and phones and everything else, that it's become so like normal commonplace now for kids not even to try to compete with attention from their parents because they're on their phone so much, right? And every single opportunity that a kid would have normally have to try to vie for a little bit of attention from their mom or dad because of a little bit of silence is being filled up by a mom or dad just immediately grabbing their phone to try to fill that gap in that silence with a little bit of entertainment, right? And wait, I don't understand why we have to be so overstimulated all the time. How about putting the stupid phone down and giving your kid a little bit of attention, right? Put the phone down and fill a little bit of that gap with a little bit of interest in something that they have going on, all right? And I get so tired of parents wind up saying all the time that, oh, the phone's, a huge technological advantage, and, kids are, responding to that, with being more tech savvy and everything else. Well, to their detriment, right? Because it's not doing them any good. It's not preserving a relationship that you have with your kids. It's deteriorating it, all right? And so anyway, before I wind up getting into a big rant on this stuff, I just wanted to close this by saying that parents have an enormous opportunity to be able to work on relationships with their kids. They really do. And it starts by just putting the phone down, all right? We've talked about all the reasons why it's not a good thing for you to have your phone in your hand constantly, all right? And now it's your turn to try to do something about it, okay? I'm not blaming you, and I'm not telling you to sell your phone right away, but I'm telling you there's a happy medium there. There's a happy medium between having a little bit of screen time, like catching up on news and all that stuff that's going on in the day, and keeping up with other family members on Facebook and stuff like that. But it can't be done at the detriment of the relationship with your children, is what I'm saying. Okay, so I hope you got something out of that, and I'll catch you next time. I love making these videos outside, and I hope that you enjoy them too, because that's going to be the format going forward. And remember, life isn't hacked, it's built, and I'll see you in the next one.